everybody. It is the first snow of the year, if I'm not mistaken. First substantial, at least. We've had some days with flurries and minor stickage already, but for the most part, this is the first substantial snow. Uh, Closings were announced yesterday, of course. This is something that would have been a delayed opening when I was in school, and we would have been disappointed because we just would see a blanket of snow on the ground and not realize that the delayed opening or the closing was always based around safety on the roads. And the roads, as you can see, are what we call wet. They are not snowy, they are not icy, although I'm sure there are some spots with ice. It is 24 degrees outside, so I can't imagine there wouldn't be ice as we go along. But we're just going to drive carefully, and we're going to enjoy the beautiful view. As a man who is an avid hater of winter and cold and snow, you are catching me in that moment when I actually do like the snow, and that is when it first falls. By tomorrow, I will be cursing it and wishing that it goes away. So let's enjoy it together while it's still enjoyable. We're driving through Fairfield, Pennsylvania right now. They call it the snow capital of Carroll Valley. And that's not true. I just made that up. But wouldn't that be great if that's what they called it? If you're on YouTube, not YouTube, sorry, this is YouTube. If you're on Facebook or Instagram, you might have seen that the results of the guide exam have come back to I believe it was the top 20. And so congratulations to all of you guys and gals who got into the top 20 there and got your notifications. There's some people who were really freaking out about it because I guess the test was harder than they expected, but they did just fine from what I'm seeing, and that is fantastic. Of course, most important to me and to the Addressing Gettysburg familia is our buddy Michael Six Questions Lentz. He has achieved, okay, so this road isn't as good as 116. That was 116, the Fairfield Road. That is much clearer than this road here. This is the Ortana Road. Anyway, what was his name? Oh, Mike. Mikey did great. I think he said that he got an 85%, and with the curve, 95%. Now, a professor friend of mine and I were talking about it last night, and she said, "So it's a 10% curve?" And I go, "I guess, yeah." And she's like, "That's not a sign of a good test." And I was like, "Well, who cares?" No, I was like, "Well, yeah, but that's the way it is. That's what they're going off of. Who cares? Let these guys get in there." Mike especially, in the post on Facebook, I said that I've seen him over the course of 6 years really devote his life to this exam. And I'm talking like, the way I saw the nuns and the priests devote themselves to the big JC at Catholic school. I mean, really, he very rarely that I can recall did I ever see Mike do anything other than something related to learning about the battle. And sorry, I hit a thing there, which I didn't mean to do. And so, so he worked very hard at it, and I was very happy to see that he achieved his goal. And now it's on to the next step, which is, I guess they have to see if they like him, which I'm sure he'll do fine there. But this is a very exciting day, very happy day for a lot of people. And for those of you who didn't make it, that really wanted to and are bummed out about it, it's as far as I understand, it's only the top 20. Some of those people might say, no, I can't go on, and they might have to dip down. I don't know how it all works, but it might not be over for you if you did all right. But yeah, I hope you're not too broken up over it. There's a lot more to it than just, I don't know. Don't beat yourself up is what I'm saying. All right, let's see who's in the comments here. John B says, you have more snow than here in Buffalo. Oh, great. Peter says, it will melt. Meanwhile, here it's the Arctic. Okay. Congrats to 6Q. Way to go. Yes, sir. Congrats, Mike. Ron Moore says, hello, Matt. Congrats to Mike. And I would be honored to his first tour, to be on his first tour. Dustin says, hey, Matt, more than 7 inches of snow yet? And yes, congrats to Mike. And those, more than 7 inches of snow. Yeah, I forgot the text I sent. And yes, congrats to Mike and those who made it to the next phase of the guide exam. Absolutely. Zachary Werner says, be safe out there. I'm trying. There's this douche in a pickup truck riding my ass, and it's annoying. See, if I could take the Fairfield Road straight into Gettysburg, it would have been fine, but they've got this damn detour, so you really can't. Sorry, I'm not talkative at the moment. I'm just trying to pay attention to the road here. Ash J says, was 105 here in Oz yesterday. Oh man, lucky you. I'll take that any day over this. Dustin says 18 inches in Kansas. Grant says, while you're driving through snow-covered land and freezing cold, I'm enjoying a private villa in tropical Bali with endless drinks and good food. Well, good for you, you bragging bastard. Good for you, Grant. No, really, good for you. That's nice. Peter says all-wheel drive or four-wheel. I have it on the snow setting. Good afternoon, Babra. Hello, Alex. Francis, hello. Ty says, the endless drinks are for everyone else at the resort having to put up with Grant. Oh, that's funny. Good afternoon, Jennifer. Thank you, Alex. I will be careful. Can you tell us if anyone else we may know is moving on in the guide process? Well, there's other people I know who are. Nancy Hale is one of them. She's been on the Patreon a couple times. Amy, I'm sorry, I forgot her last name. It's on the tip of my tongue. but she's also a patron, came out from the West Coast to take the exam. She passed. Another patron told me he passed. Ron Chizuli. Ron, who his wife Cindy owns Cindy's Country Store. She was on the show last year. He went on, or passed, and hopefully is moving on. I don't know. You have to let them know, apparently, if you intend to move on. So, yeah. So that's the tour, making this right up here, but I'm not going to take it because not worse snow-wise, just worse hills and all that crap. So we're gonna go to Route 30 via Cashtown. Maybe we'll stop and take a look at the Cashtown Inn in the snow. How about that? How'd you like that? Grant says, Bergen Winter looks great in video, though. It does. And now, with the, once the president signs the Explore Act, I'll be able to go out there and get video of it with a nice camera and 4K and cinema lenses, and you'll be like, ooh, it's even more beautifuler. And ain't nothing they can say about it, if I'm reading it right. Michael says, Happy New Year. In April, there will be 160 years since the war ended. Oh, yeah, that's right, which means we get to start all over again soon. Peter, have you taken your semi-new car to an empty parking lot and tested out how she spins? No, we haven't had snow since I got it. And I didn't think of it until you just said it. But also, it's a lease, so I don't want to F it up. Babber remembers the Cindy show. Francis says, did questions pass? He absolutely passed with flying colors. John B. says, probably got a letter that he passed the exam and said, tell me they still said. I don't think so, John. Mike posted the letter he got. Because the next step is not the oral. So they wouldn't say that now. It used to be written, oral. Now it's like a bunch of other stuff. So, yeah. Pretty sure they didn't say that. Grant says it must feel good to be oral qualified. Probably does. Axel says, got the old wood stove going since it's nice and cozy in here. Smells like good wood too. Yeah, I have the wood stove going back at my house as well. Had it going since last night. It's pretty, going pretty hot actually. So here, if you go to the left, you can get to Adams County Winery, but we're going to the right to go to Cashtown. All right? All right. Jammer says, I heard they're building a huge iron fence around the entire battlefield. Well, they're building a monorail, and you'll only be allowed to access the park via monorail. There's no more autonomous exploration allowed. And then they're putting the iron fence around it. It's more of a curtain. It's more of an iron curtain. What road am I on? What the hell road am I on? I believe I'm on the Ortana Road. I'll let you know when I get to the intersection up ahead. Jim says, is there a secret password handshake I need to give at Bantam in order to get little ground top? I went there early Saturday morning and they were out. I called later on and they said they were out. So they make 12 bags for in-store a week. They go out either sometime Friday, Saturday morning at the latest. And if it's a particularly busy weekend, they'll be out of them by sometime early afternoon on that Saturday. The best thing to do is order them online at addressinggettysburg.com/cafe. And honestly, I would order more than one bag. I do think he's toying with the idea of making more. But here we go. Here's the Cashtown Inn. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful. If you've never been in there, you should go. This is where they filmed that scene when Lee's army is marching past the Cashtown Inn. They actually filmed it there. Now we're going through the lovely little village of Cashtown. So anyway, that's what I would do. Obviously, I also heard they were out of a lot of coffees this week. I think they were really busy and they sold out, which is great. Yeah, what you need to do is either catch them at the right time, Friday to Sunday. Sometimes on the weekends, it's not a very busy weekend. If you're up here, you can see them still there on the shelf. I've seen them on the shelf, into the early days of the week. But when it's a busy weekend, they tend to sell out of them pretty quick. So the best thing to do is order online, order more than one of them so you have a little stockpile there. And make sure you realize that you have to get them ground according to how you like to take your coffee or make your coffee. Ty says, didn't the park learn from the Simpsons monorail episode? Oh, that's right. They don't learn anything. Yeah, I mean, the park, we pick on the park, but really, the park it's just the government. It runs just as efficiently and intelligently as any other branch of the government does. And, to pick on them alone is kind of unfair. But it's a lot of fun because it's really the only power that we little serfs have is to make jokes. And Ms. Lisi says, order online. We live 3 hours away and can't get down there. There you go. Even if you live close, like an hour away or something, and you get up here often, it can be hit or miss depending on when you get in there. So it's always good to order. And I have to thank everybody that orders them because they sell out, obviously online, not online, in person every week, which is great. And they get a lot of orders online too, and a lot of them are repeat. And I hear from people, it's like their coffee now. My favorite, I keep referring to it, is one of our listeners, Ricky Fowler, his wife. She said that it now, after she had little ground top, it makes her Dunkin' taste like dirt. And with all due respect to Dunkin' Donuts, we've got the better coffee. Ty Harris says, that's beautiful. It is, Ty. Hello. Good to see you. How you doing? We're now in McKnightstown, which is just a little village too, like Cashtown is. I don't know if village is the proper word. Is it village or hamlet or Macbeth? What do you call, how do you tell if it's a village or not? Is it population? Is it landmass? And a hamlet, what about that? How do you tell what a hamlet is? Jim says, oh, that's good. I have a French press and need a coarse ground. Yeah, so they'll ask you, when you go in there, it's just the whole bean. And when you bring it to the counter, they'll ask you, French press or drip, and they'll ground it accordingly. Oh, we got the snow plow didn't get down here. Apparently, they haven't paid their bills. Grant says, Little Ground Top is a fine coffee, no side effects whatsoever. Great. Have you ordered it? Are you able to get it down there? Because if not, I'll send it to you with your Listener of the Year trophy. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten. I just haven't gotten around to packing it all up and sending it along. All right, so it looks like 30 is pretty good. So we're on now is Route 30, the Lincoln Highway, heading into Gettysburg. It's also known as the Chambersburg Pike or the Cashtown Road. That's right, Ty. It is a very special formula in that it has ground in the name, but does not taste like dirt. Or as Grant points out, only the finest dirt. Well. Dirt purified by water run through major to give the beans that extra coffee kick. I like that. So, by the way, in case you didn't see it, somehow since Saturday, from 10,140 something subscribers to 11,500 or 400 something. I just looked at today and I was like, whoa. So thank you to everybody who is new to following us or subscribing, as it were. But this is Major's second Christmas. She was much better this year with the tree. She didn't try to eat it. Last year she kept trying to eat it. But she's growing up a little bit now, so she's not ripping everything apart like she used to. Poor Cindy would come home with a new pillow for the couch, and then within an hour we'd see the the stuffing from the pillow all over the floor because Major got to it. But she doesn't do that anymore, mostly. Oh, you're right, Ty. Thank you for knowing more about my life than I do. Yes. Oh, that's a great point. This is actually her first Christmas with us. She was great. Christmas season, of course, we put the tree up before she went training, so tried to eat it, But the Christmas holiday, you're right, she was not with us last year. This year, she is, and everything was great. There's Asian massage right on the left there. I don't know what that means. Grant says, well-deserved, Matt. The new year looks promising for the show. It does. And I have to say that the way things have all worked out, while at first annoying and frustrating and scary and depressing, actually worked out for the better, because I think we have a stronger plan moving forward. And most importantly, it helped me get my head on straight, because I had kind of lost focus. I had lost confidence in the show for a while, and I sought to work with others, and I realized that was not the way to go, because then it puts the power with others. So I learned that last year now, and back to doing my own thing. And I'm actually excited about it, because I don't know, I just am. And I think when we tell you what we're doing, I think you're gonna like it too, because everyone I have told it to thinks it's a great idea, and they get excited about it. I see them smile when I say what it is, and then they go, oh, that's good. But I'm not telling everybody what it is just yet. I'm going to start telling the patrons, and I'm going to be cryptic, but it's a strategy. It's for a reason. It's just to keep things close to the vest for a while. By June, you'll know. So stick around over on Patreon. Chris says, how many of those new subs were looking for the park's posting of the winter lectures? Probably none. I don't think people pay much, like, that close attention to things. I think they'll search and they'll find something and they'll watch what they find. I don't think they think of it like that. Now, people who knew last year that we did them might have, looked to find them there, but no. Good morning, Garrix. Good morning. Good afternoon. Ms. Lisi says, honestly, I can't believe you don't have 500,000 subscribers. Yeah, you and me both. You know what it is? I'll tell you what it is. I don't do YouTube videos. I'm going to start to now, because I have people who are now kind of joining me in that effort. But up until then, I've done, like fly on the wall type of shows of our doing the show. And that's not really the YouTube video format. It's not what YouTube pushes. It's not what, especially young people who watch YouTube, it's not what they respect. I get very bored with that, because there's not a lot of quick cuts and goofy sounds and pranks and all that stuff. So, I didn't start out intending to do a YouTube channel except to have the podcast, when it was audio only, thrown out there. And just to kind of, be a catch-all, because everybody goes on YouTube. But then I started realizing that that's where to go. So hopefully when we actually start producing proper YouTube videos, people will like them. hopefully we'll make them entertaining enough and, you know, they move along enough to catch and hold attention, which is very hard to do now with everybody having ADD. But thank you for honestly not being able to believe that, because all right, here we'll go around the square once so you can see all the snow removal in progress. So we'll see. I don't know how the park roads are. I know some of them are through roads that I think have to be cleared. Certain park roads don't. They can choose to or not, and I think I'm guessing, I didn't see today, but I'm guessing that some of them are going to be closed, but we'll find out. I'm going down Middle Street right now, and as you can see, it looks like almost every office is closed. Not a lot of people on the road. We'll head up to Seminary Ridge and turn down Confederate Avenue. Ms. Lisi says, AG is a unique niche market. It is, and that's why we don't have 500,000 viewers. But if all goes to plan, next year, this time-ish, we will have, oops, that yellow light was too short. We will have hopefully started addressing history, which will kind of broaden our horizons and explore other areas of American history. And the idea for that is to be just a YouTube show, not maybe we'll do a podcast as time goes on if the show works, the YouTube show works. And that's not going to be instead of addressing Gettysburg, it'll be in addition to, but we'll see. We'll see. Okay. It doesn't say the road is closed. Let me just put it on snow here. Gotta actually stop to do that. There we go. Okay, going down Confederate Avenue. Looks like a plow has been through already. Ms. Lisi says audio only is dead. Yeah, I think you're right, because I saw when we started doing more video shows, I saw an increase in views on YouTube and a decrease on the audio feeds. So they still get a lot, but not as much as they were getting just a couple of years ago. So I definitely think that there's something to that audio only is kind of not working anymore. And the thing with YouTube is you don't need to watch it. Like, you can listen to YouTube in the car. I do that all the time. They're video shows, but, you know, I'm driving, so I listen to them. I don't watch them. Grant says, yes, you've never used goofy sounds or pranks. Yeah, but it's not it's not what the young people are into, you know. And they also don't want to watch an old guy talking about history. Like, how boring is that? So I get that. Swifty says, you are so blessed to be where you are. Thank you for sharing. You're very welcome. It's my pleasure. But I must tell you, I'm not sure how being blessed is to do with it as much as it is me being very stubborn and insisting that I come back here and do what I want to do instead of do something just to get by. It's I wouldn't recommend it, that attitude, but it seems to have worked for me here. Now we got some people walking here. I wonder if it's the Sharas, because they often walk on this road. I don't think so. No, it's not. Thank you, Miss Lisi, for the like. Is that a like or super chat? Super. Thank you for the $5, whatever it is categorized as. Garrick says, for me, I watch on my TV and only do the videos. The same for Patreon. Okay. So you don't listen to the audio only on Patreon. You just watch the videos. Swifty says, I want to listen to an old guy talk about history. All right, Swifty. Well, there you are. Are you young or are you old? Mark says, thank you for sharing. I live in Wyoming now, so I don't get to visit as often as I would like. Oh, you guys, you want to talk about snow? How are the winters out there where you are in Wyoming? I was in Wyoming 22 years ago, 23 years ago. Ugh. And I was just amazed. It's so beautiful out there, but it's like a different planet. I couldn't believe it. Like, it was just so real. We're looking out at the field of Pickett's Charge. Jim says, Matt, you should be starting the Addressing Gettysburg morning zoo show where you have zany characters in the studio. Well, you know, with Hawaiian shirts. My dream is to be able to do AG Today daily, and I would actually love to do it as a morning show. But this is why I play the lottery, because I couldn't expect them to come in at the ass crack of dawn every morning and do a 2-hour show without some form of compensation. And so when I win that $1 billion lottery ticket, then we'll start doing that. Oh, Garrick, you just watched the video. Okay, that's interesting. So you're watching the video of the recording sessions. Well, I guess now everything that comes out audio only on Patreon has a video version of it that the first lieutenants get. So I guess that you don't miss anything that way. The winters here have been mild the last 2 years. Yeah, they have been here too. This isn't abnormal to get a snowstorm in December or January, and then it kind of like milds up and it gets to be in the 40s and 50s, and it's really not so bad. Swifty says, are you a tour guide? I will hire you. I am not a tour guide, so you can't hire me, but I would be happy to take you around for free. I love to do that. And yeah, but if you want someone who actually has a license and has been tested and over the years, got an experience, then I can also put you in touch with one of those guys too, or gals. American Battlefield Trust. Awesome views. Looks like a little light up there coming up on a... Hey, Andy, doing? Yeah, it's, sort of up on the mountain, and we're just blanketed in snow. And we probably have 4 to 5 inches up there. And I was actually surprised to see that what's actually worse down here on the valley floor is the roads and not the fields in some cases. Some of the fields are completely covered and others are not. Although there's still corn stalks there, so maybe that's what's throwing me off. But it is... Listen and watch the video. Also, I am both young and old. I like that answer, Estella. Yes. You can laugh when your dreams fall apart at the seams and life gets more exciting with each passing day. Love is either in your heart or on its way. Don't you know that it's worth every treasure on earth to the young at heart? That's the spirit. Ty Webb says, Jim, I was thinking the same about the morning show. Unfortunately, Family Guy already took the names Weenie and Butt. Somehow it would have to come up with a new name for the show. So let me tell you, me and Eric Lindblade, this is going over a decade ago now, we came up with these goofy characters called Walrus and the Blade. And it was like a morning show, but they kept getting fired for doing these outrageous pranks that were just, really awful. And so they would move around from town to town. And we actually thought like it would be funny to make a mockumentary about these guys and the all the different cities they worked in and the reason they got fired and had to go find another job. And we would make these we would just do these little like riffs where we would just start improvising some kind of conversation between Walrus and the Blade. We'd do these silly voices like this, and it's like 7:35 in the morning, 42 degrees, Walrus and the Blade, WFAK, fake radio, blah 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 blah. And we would crack ourselves up. Eric Dorr was with us at the time. We were shooting a video for him, and he was getting annoyed by that. Liz says, what is this? This is snow. Snow is frozen rain is the best way to think of that. And it falls from the sky and collects on the ground. It makes for a beautiful sight. It's cold. It's cold. It's not always pleasant. It's also slippery. We are on the battlefield at Gettysburg, the Gettysburg National Military Park, driving on Wheatfield Road. Unfortunately, now, Wheatfield Road is not a park road. Sickles Avenue, which was that left turn that I just went past, is a park road, and it is closed. So that means that they're not plowing the park roads. And sorry, my windshield's getting a little dirty here. And wait, hold on, let me get turn that down a little bit there. So we are going through here on Wheatfield Road, which isn't very well plowed, but it's better than nothing. Better than nothing. Jeffrey says, listen and watch the videos, have hour-plus drive to work every day, and listen to back episodes. Good. So, back episodes, and I have to go and upload one when I get home. And this is all thanks to Grant from Australia, who's sipping drinks in Bali right now. We're replaying. Hold on, my signal down here is bad, so before I lose you again, let me just get out of the bad area. Little Round Top is to the right. I forgot what I was saying. Oh, yeah. So you should go back and listen to all the old ones and work your way up. It's not like they go in chronological order as far as the story of the battle goes. But there's just a lot of topics that we've covered. So, don't deprive yourself of that information. But also, if you're the type that likes to get into a show and the people on it and the lore of the show and the history of the show, that would be a way to do that. You'll get to see the change of cast of characters and the introduction of people and how they've grown on the show and all that stuff. So if that stuff interests you and you want to actually be a part of our little community that we've formed, then I would suggest going to do that too, so that you could really get it. Because when you come to the show new, out of context, sometimes it might be a little hard to get. So, because of that, we're going to play old shows, and that's what we've been doing. And that's going to be January and February. Jeffrey says, finding your show in 2024 was the highlight of my year. Thank you, sir. Helps me keep my sanity and decompress from work. Thank you for everything you do. You're very welcome. And may I say, Jeffrey, while it helps you keep yours, it helped me lose mine. So I'm glad that somebody found my sanity and took it, and that would have been you. So you're welcome. Enjoy it. Grant, and this is the typical amount of snow? No way I deal with that. Typical? No, I mean, I don't know what the typical amount is, but you'll get, I'm gonna say that since the park roads are closed, we're not gonna be able to go on Culp's Hill. And I forget what I was saying. Oh, typical. It's not, I mean, I guess it's typical. We don't get like feet upon feet upon feet over the course of 2 or 3 months, like in some places. I remember one winter we did. That was miserable. But, this too shall pass, right? Everything ends. We're on the Tawnytown Road now, for those of you wanting to know roads and all that jazz. Ty says, Abu asks, where are we going? And Ty says, do any of us really know where we're going, Abu? Abu, we are in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, US of A, and we are driving around to look at the snow on the battlefield. Ms. Lisi says, Lordy, that's not a lot of snow compared to up here in Western Pa. Yeah, it's really not. It's really not. And that's, well, that's good. I mean, it's enough where it looks nice, right? So that's Hunt Avenue on the right. That's closed. So if you are deciding to come out to Gettysburg and go through the park, you can only go on the roads that are either county or state roads. I'm not sure what they qualify as, but not park roads. Garrick says, I used to help out on my godfather's radio show on WJLA and heard some good stories about the Don and Mike show. Oh man, I love the Don and Mike show. So when I was in college, it was WJFK radio. I think it was 101.1 in the DC area. And I would listen to Howard in the morning and then Don and Mike in the afternoon. And Don and Mike, I liked their show. I thought they were really good. Mike and Rob made me laugh the most. And they have a podcast now. It's called The Mike O'Mara Show, and I listen to it. And, yeah, I think Mike was the real funny one on the Don and Mike show. The voices he did, and he just cracked me up. Ramsey says, he says, where, what state or country? We are in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, United States of America, Adams County, Pennsylvania. I'm going to stop here. We're on Steinway Avenue, across from the Dobbin House, world famous Dobbin House. I'm going to pull in, and we're going to go in. Hopefully it's open. Yep, it's open. To Bantam Roasters and get ourselves. Is it open? No, it's closed. Damn it, I have to pay. I was going to go in and get some coffee. I guess everybody is wisely closed and staying home. Wait, hold on. Are you closed?
Yeah, just closed up shop.
Oh, I'm late. I need some coffee bad. Hey, I'm doing a live video as I drive around, and people are saying I tried to get Little Ground Top on Saturday, and they were out already. Selling quick, huh?
Very.
Really?
Yeah.
Good. I mean, not good.
Demand.
It is in demand.
Yeah, you can't keep it on the shelf.
Is he gonna make more?
Yeah, we've been trying to keep up. I think he was falling behind with a lot of his wholesale.
Yeah.
He was roasting on Sunday even. He normally doesn't roast on Sundays. So, and then they're trying to keep up with this whole social media thing, but when they're posting stuff that isn't accurate. So,
Oh,
yesterday
no.
they posted our shelf was full of coffee.
And then people came in and it was gone.
Bag of decaf.
Oh no, really?
Yeah.
Oh God. So do you guys make decaf?
Yeah, Swiss decaf.
I wonder if can he do Little Ground Top as decaf? Because I've had some people ask that. Is that possible?
Possibly. I mean, it's not going to be the same theme.
Okay. Right, because yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good to hear that it's selling out. But we'll have to
Yeah, that's something he's got just full shelf, man.
yeah. I know. I told him it's like you got 3 empty or 2.5 empty shelves there in that one case. You should just fill it with Little Ground Top.
Yeah.
But that's a lot of work. I understand.
Well,
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
He's got a lot on his plate himself, so it's not always having time to roast.
You can't own a business and mop the floors. Or, you know what I mean? That's the trouble I have. Is like, I got to do all that.
And us trying to do that over there on top.
Yeah. It's a lot. But eventually, it'll all work out. You just got to keep plugging away. Yeah. Well, good. I'm glad it's selling. And I just tell everybody to order online.
That too. Everybody that comes in that's been wanting it, I'm just like, order online.
Yeah.
Get your order in before Wednesday to have it out.
Yeah, I tell them order like 4 bags. That way you have backup.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, I know when we run out of it at home, I'm like, oh. And now we're out in Carroll Valley, so I'm like, I got to drive all the way into town to get another bag. And sometimes you don't want to, so I buy like 2 now.
You should talk Chad into just dropping off you. You gotta go over there for
Oh,
pickup room.
we're right by them. Oh yeah, he should
Chad.
just deliver a box to me. It's a good idea. I will. All right, have fun cleaning off your car. Go get cozy.
We'll be here tomorrow.
All right, have a good day. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I had to talk to one of the employees over there at Bantam Roasters. Well, I still need to get a cup of coffee, so I'm going to go down to Sheetz and get some. I also need gas, so I figure I'll kill 2 birds with 1 stone there. 3 birds, because I also have to urinate. So forgive me for being indelicate, but it is what it is. So I'm going to go and do that. And then I have to go to Giant and grab a couple of things. If they're still open, maybe they're not. Maybe I'm out of luck. Time will tell. Time will tell. Now we're on the Baltimore Pike. You take this road, it goes all the way down to Washington, D.C. You can still get to Baltimore from this road, but you got to make a couple turns. Kevin says we have an inch here, but 50 miles north they have 67. Oh my God. Are you sure that's 67 and not 6.7 and you forgot the point? Good God. Grant says, compared to no snow in my area, in my entire lifetime it is, Ms. Lisi. Looks like Antarctica compared to what I'm used to. Damn, Grant, I wish I grew up where you were. Ramsey, oh wow, that's awesome. Awesome, thank you. Swifty says, I love that you're doing this. I'd like to visit Gettysburg twice a year. Have you before, Swifty? It's a place that once you visit it, it gets in your blood, and it becomes an obsession to visit it at least once a year. But then the more you do that, the more you're like, I need to go again, I need to go again. And sooner or later, once isn't enough, twice isn't enough, thrice isn't enough, fourth isn't enough, and then you finally decide, I got to figure out a way to move there. And you will. If you can. Sometimes people can't. They want to so badly, but they can't. Swifty says, I visit twice a year, so it's wonderful that you're doing this. Gotcha, okay. Abu says, you're fee on us. That's right. Brian says, hell yeah, I could watch this all day. Well, unfortunately, I'll run out of gas, but I'll do it as long as I can. How's that? Brian says, oh, I read that one already. Swifty says, beautiful. Swifty says, it would be nice to go to Gary's after this and get a nice drinking meal. We were just there last night, Gary Owen, I'm assuming is what you mean by that. And had a Reuben. I love the Reubens because the corned beef, it's just so good. It's so good. Mark loved Don and Mike as well. Yeah, they were great. Go check out Mike O'Mara's podcast. It's the same way they did the Don and Mike show, basically. There's no Don. You know, Don was all right, but it was, I don't know. I just thought Mike was the funny one. Sorry, Don. I know you're listening. Grant said they had radio back when you were in college. Wow. It was very, very new. Very early on, but they had it, yeah. Christina says, it looks very cold. You know, I have to tell you, it's 26 degrees, but it's not unbearable. I've been in 40-degree weather that's been worse. I don't understand how that works. But yeah, it's not really that bad. I mean, for some reason, even though it's 26 out, obviously, I guess the ground is still kind of warm, so there's not a lot of ice, although they salt it, so that explains that. Sorry, I should have thought that through before I said it and proved myself an idiot. My Godfather's show was after Stern and before Don and Mike. Who was your Godfather? G. Gordon Liddy? He used to be on in between Howard and Don and Mike on WJFK. How's the road? Seems slippery, says Purple Saturn. It's wet, Purple Saturn. It's not really slippery, except obviously the parts that really haven't been plowed well. Like here, it's slushy right now, but not bad. For those of you who like AG Today, we'll be back on Thursday. I don't know if we're actually back weekly though, because I do have a lot of stuff. I have to get out of the car or get out of the park tours finalized. I have to, just do books and end of the year stuff. It's annoying. David Spencer says, we got about the same amount of snow in England over the weekend and there's panic. I know, it's funny how people panic from snow. Mark says, Dobbinhouse, Rum Belly's Vengeance. Love the Rum Belly. Ty says, so this stuff we normally miss when Matt mutes the mics on the live videos. I never mute the mics. When do I mute the mics? Oh, once in a while, maybe. Grant, it's usually when I blow my nose, because who wants to hear that? Grant says he's a good salesman. Swifty, go to Gary Owens. I think they're closed. Most places are closed. Ty says Sheets Coffee is the drizzling shits. It does cause that, yes. Matt isn't full of sheet. Why the sheet's not? John Stewart, hey everybody. Middle Tennessee is rain and ice. Irish coffee at GO. Yes, always go to the Gaslight. Mark says, my brother went to see Matt Atkinson this past weekend. Kevin says it's 67 inches east of Lake Ontario. Oh my God. Oh my God. With all due respect to people who live in regions like that, what the hell are you thinking? One winter living there, I'd be like, all right, this was a bad idea. Let's move somewhere else. The only reason I stay here in Gettysburg is because of Gettysburg and the show, and I love it here. But otherwise, I'd be in like Texas or, I don't know, somewhere warm. The Carolinas. Yeah, this winter stuff is for the birds. Brian says, I gotta figure a way to move there. Grow up, my kids. Hanan Khan, hello Hanan. He says, oh my God, is this the new Home Alone movie? Jeffrey says, perfect compact snow for snowball fights. It's actually very powdery. I tried to make a snowball before when we were shoveling, and it did not take. That's funny. Hanan Khan says, Brian Hannon. How is your name Hannon? My name is Hanan. Hanan says, your dad must be Irish. Brian says, yes, sir, Irish dad. Hanan says, I'm Pakistani. Ty says, Hanan, yes, but unlike the movies, this time the people left Matt alone on purpose. Hanan says, my name is Arabic, but a lot of people in Ireland also have the name Hanan. And the only difference is the pronunciation, right? Hanan says, that's crazy. I've never met an actual Westerner who was named Hannon. Brian Hannon says, Pittsburgh born and raised. Hanan Khan says, well, go Steelers. Peter Herman says, hey, Matt. Hey, Pete, how you been? GP Foster, 1966. I grew up in Watertown, New York. Wait, Pete, did you take the guide exam? Explain. You get used to the heavy snow. It's just a part of life. You got your driveway plowed. Yeah, I got my driveway snow blown, and yeah, I got out. I didn't do the whole thing. It's a long driveway. I just did enough for us to park and get out. We don't really use the back of the house much. Yeah. Hey, Hanan, I'm doing well, thank you. I'm behind on the conversation, so sorry. Jeffrey says, snowbelt weather means no earthquakes, tornadoes, or hurricanes. Fair enough. I'll take the couple times a year a feet of snow. Go Bills. Grant says, Matt is a funny guy and a charming guy who does a lot for Gettysburg history. I'm a big fan. I mean, Matt Atkinson. There can't be two. There can't be two, Grant. All right. Well, listen. I've got to get coffee. I've got to make water. And I'm going to buy a lottery ticket so that we can do a a morning show. I would love to do that. AG Today would end up being a morning show on the daily if that were the case. So everybody, everybody likes to send thoughts and prayers when there's a tragedy, and it doesn't take the tragedy away. But maybe we're sending thoughts and prayers for the wrong things. Perhaps, mayhaps even, you should send thoughts and prayers that I'd go in and buy the winning lottery ticket so that I can pay everybody to do a daily morning show, which you will all love. All right, wait. Peter Herman, I didn't take it, Matt, but was cheering for all you test takers from afar. Excited to see that Mikey has moved to tier 2. I am too. You should see the texts. He texted me the results, and I was like, I kind of probably felt like probably the way his mother would react like, "Oh, Mike, I'm so excited. This is so great. You worked really hard for this. I'm really happy for you." And I'm genuinely happy for him because I've seen him on a at least weekly basis, sometimes more than one day a week, um, in his preparation for it. And like when we would go out socially, and the conversation would be about something other than the battle, he'd participate, but not as much as when it turns to battle. Or if there was silence, he would bring the conversation back to the battle. It was always in the forefront of his mind. That is why he came out here, and it has paid off, and I'm very excited for him. I think you've heard him on the show talk about it. I think once he learns the art of being a guide from an experienced guide, I think he'll do a great job. And I would be very sad and disappointed and surprised if he does not pass the oral when it comes time for that. But you could fail it, from what I'm told, like by doing a rolling stop. So not even your abilities as a guide, although that's part of it, is, safe driving. So, but I'm sure he's going to do fine. And I can't wait to have him on the show as a guest on an Ask a Guide. So that'd be just fantastic. Peter Zach is lost on people living in Tornado Alley. Yeah, that's the other thing. Extreme winter and tornadoes and hurricanes. What if we get Matt Damon on the pod? Oh, Matt Atkinson, Matt Damon, and me. The three Matts. No one would know who's who, right? Hanan says Mattception. That's what it would be called. Mark says, yes, Matt Atkinson. He is a Gettysburg rock star. Swifty says, good luck, Matt. Brian says, hell yeah, thanks, Matt. Time Web says, Jeffrey, let's go Buffalo. Grant, thanks, Mark. Enjoy the live drive. You're welcome, Gary. Hanan says, may the lottery winning ticket be in Matt's hands. But wait, which Matt? Mine, Hanan. Guess we need to know your full name. Well, you don't need all that stuff. Very clever there, Hanan. Okay. So that we can wish Matt just wish this guy right now that you're talking to the best of luck. Donald says, congratulations, 6Q. Good luck. Good go, Matt. Maybe next time. I'm not broken up over it, Donald. I took it more out of curiosity, and that's why I didn't really prepare, because I knew statistically it would be a waste of my time, and I didn't really have the time, which meant I would have had to create the time, which meant I would have had to take it away from doing the show, which meant my income might have gone down. So I didn't. I said, well, let's hope that I learned something through osmosis, and I did. I learned something, but not enough some things, and not the right things. And now that I took it, I have an idea of what they're looking for in a guide. And to be honest with you, I'm just not that guy. Like, I don't have that mind. I don't have that personality. I don't have that discipline that I saw a lot of people, especially Mike, force on themselves to buckle down and study for an indefinite amount of time. Once they kicked the can down the road the second time for when they were going to give the exam, I was like, these jackasses aren't serious, and forget this. And I'll take it when they offer it, but I'm not going to put myself through the agony that everybody else is putting themselves through. And for a lot of people that paid off, and they made it. But it just it didn't fit into my life. But I had to take the test to see what it was like, because it's something I've talked about, and I've heard people tell me about their experience, but they always say every experience is different because every test is different. So I had to just experience it for myself. I'm glad I did. I had fun doing it. I had fun meeting a lot of listeners who, many of whom actually passed, and they said that the show was a component of their study. So I'm glad I could have helped people pass it. But I don't think if I did make the cut, I'm not sure I would go on, because I wouldn't be able to devote the time it requires for the next several phases. So, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. I put a post up. I kind of doctored up a letter from the park, and the body of the letter just had, they just wrote LOL by hand for my results, and it was a joke. A lot of people were kindly offering consoling words, but I wasn't looking for that. I was looking for laughter, like to laugh along with me. But whatever, it was still nice that everybody said those nice things. Wait, I was in a coma. Did Matt do well in the exam? No. I don't know where you got that idea. Hanan says, wait, Matt gave an exam? Swifty says, you have a great personality, a great guide. Oh, yeah, no. I would be great with a license. But to do okay, maybe not great. I'd be good. But to do everything required in order to get that license, I just don't have the time or the wherewithal. So, it's until they value maybe personality at least as much as knowledge, maybe then I would put the effort in. But it doesn't, I don't know. We'll see. But you have the makings of a varsity guide. Donald says you have really found a place with AG today, or AGT. Yeah, AG today. You are where you're supposed to be. Swifty, you are absolutely correct. And that is why I'm not all bent out of shape over this, because since I started doing this, everything seemed to be, I hate to get all hokey, but like predestined, whatever you want to call it. I just put one foot in front of the other. When I get to a point where I realize that I'm overwhelmed and I need help or I need something, literally, and I don't say it publicly, I just say it in private conversation with close people, but literally within months, that exact person or thing I need comes to me just at the right time. So I do believe I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. I believe we all are. And yeah. Not that we can't do things to provoke a certain outcome. It's not all just sitting there waiting for your ship to come in. You got to do things. But when you're doing the right thing, I guess is what I'm saying, for yourself, then things kind of work their way out. Grant says, Matt, if you need some tutoring for the next exam, let me know. I think you should fly up here and take it, Grant. Swifty says, yeah, it's a lot. Fly by the seat of your pants. Yeah, I mean, for the most part, you can't be completely immature like that. But yes, you have to learn to roll with the punches, and you have to improvise. When something bad happens that you feel is a setback, here's what I do. And I suggest you try this yourself. For example, when the whole lecture debacle occurred, I gave myself, as I do every time there's bad news, 24 to 48 hours to feel sorry for myself, to have a pity party, to be angry, to be, doubtful, to be whatever, go through all those feelings. And when the 48 hours comes, I do not allow myself to feel that way anymore. And now there are moments where it'll break through, but I have to get it under control. Because now what I have to do is I have to focus my energy, my thinking on what am I going to do to not just hold the line, but end up in a better position than I would have been in had things stayed the same. And luckily, I have a great group of people around me. First is Cindy, my girlfriend. Like, she listens to all my bitching and offers her advice. And now I have guys like Court, who's joining the show, and Mike, who are joining the show. And they had really good advice. And I've got, my friend back home who also... And so I go to these people and I say, well, here's what's going on. Here's what I'm thinking. And they've got their ideas of what we should do. And last night we went out to dinner, and I was telling, Veronica was with us, and we haven't seen her in months because she's been really busy. And so I was telling her about this idea that I have for next January and February. And she was like, I'm not trying to rain on your parade here. I'm just going to play devil's advocate. And I was like, okay. And she would ask me questions, and every once in a while she'd be like, again, devil's advocate. And I'm like, no, you don't need to do that. I want somebody to do this because that helps me think things through and adjust. And then what she was asking kind of made me think, well, yeah, maybe I don't need to do it the way I planned. Maybe there's another way to do it more expeditiously. So you have to be able to improvise, and you have to listen to the other musicians in the band, because they're going to do something. They're going to do a little, Veronica over there on her saxophone is going to play a little run in her solo, and then I'll sit over there on my piano and I'll echo the run, and then we'll get into a call and answer for a while, and then a better song comes out of it. So that's what you have to do. You have to roll with the punches. You've got to listen to good counsel and be willing to not end up doing your original idea. And I think that's why, especially with podcasts and other creative things, that's why people fail so often, is because they won't let themselves veer from their original thought. And even though all of the metrics are saying your original thought isn't working, and so I think that's how I've been able to keep this going so long, is I actually take advice, as long as it's good advice and given in good faith and all that. Like I have taken a lot of advice from other people that weren't part of my plan. So that's what you have to do. Nobody lives in a vacuum. Hanan says, you need a license to be a guide. A lot of restrictions. I would just drive people around and play an Addressing Gettysburg video. That's pretty smart, Hanan. Actually, that's not a bad idea. But yes, this is the land of the free. Peter Zach says, could a version of Drunk History work for Gettysburg? Problem is, it's already been done. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it could totally work, because Gettysburg is full of alcoholic tourists. There's bars every 5 feet, in between the ice cream shops every 5 feet. But Drunk History is already a thing, so it would just be copying. Is the Antietam exam process as difficult as the Gettysburg one? Brandon, I've heard no, but here's the difference, and let's not beat up on Gettysburg. And here's why. Gettysburg is where everybody wants to be, right? Everybody wants to be a Gettysburg guide. Gettysburg has had the longest guide program. People have seen and met Gettysburg guides. They've taken tours with them. They see them online. The charismatic ones are the ones that we all follow online, and it's alluring, and we all dream of being like them. And well, you guys do. I don't dream of being like them. I dream of being like me. But that's what kind of gets everybody going. So everybody wants to be a guide. So Gettysburg, in their defense, they have to be more restrictive. And frankly, they have to be as sadistic as they are in the test formulation, because they don't need 160 guides on top of the 130 they have. So they have to be it has to be more difficult of a process. Antietam, on the other hand, Harper's Ferry, they need guides. So like, they make it easier. I think, and there might be somebody out there who knows better than I do, but from what I was told, Harper's Ferry, they give it 4 times a year, and Antietam, it's on demand. And if you didn't really do stellar, but they see that you kind of know what you're talking about, but you just maybe aren't a good test taker, they'll work with you. But there's how many people that take the test when they, you know what I mean? Like, it's a different process, it's a different situation. Gettysburg could not possibly take that tact with people here. Now, maybe they could do the quarterly, but and then that way it wouldn't be so many people all at once, and it wouldn't be so difficult to grade them and all that other stuff. But it's a different animal, Gettysburg. It's totally different animal. So if Antietam and Harper's Ferry become as popular as Gettysburg, I'm sure they're going to be more restrictive too. So let's be fair. Hanan says, Matt, come to Pakistan. I'll take you to Afghanistan for a day trip. We legit can go there and back in the same day. Yeah, I had some friends that went to Afghanistan over the last 20 years, and thank you, though. But yeah, we could call it Addressing Kabul. I like that. Grant said, would Vicky ever come back for an AG today? If she ever had the time, yeah, she probably would. She and Cindy were talking last night that she want, and Bethany were talking recently, and they want to resume. That's what she said, which is great because people like that, but it kind of stalled. As I predicted, see, nobody listens to me when I know what I'm talking about. As I predicted, I said we need to record a full year before we release anything because your lives are going to get in the way. Oh, no, okay, fine. And then 6 episodes in, they're like, we have enough now. We just have 6 more to do. And I think we did 3 more. So, yeah. So I'm going to be very insistent that whatever we record, it's not going out until a full year is recorded. And probably, I would like to find a producer for it. The trick is, I can't give someone else the key to the studio. I'm the only one that can have it. So I can't say to like anybody, all right, you're the producer. Here's how you do it. Here's the key. Go in, do the show, lock up. Here's how you lock up. Here's the alarm, blah, blah, blah. I can't do that. So I have to be there for everything that's done in the studio. Now we could set up a studio in my house. That might be easier. But again, I don't have the time to really take on the production of another show. But I got, like I said, Court and Mike are joining the crew. So maybe they'll be able to do that and we can do it somewhere else. Where are you? Looks like Barbersville. No, I'm in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. And welcome, David. Beauregard says, greetings from Chelmsford, Massachusetts. Greetings, Beauregard. Swifty says, do you see any ghosts when you're there? I've never saw one, but a lot of people have. No, they haven't, Swifty. Dakota Kid says, just leave this place alone. It's a new year and cold outside. Yes. What? CCN Death Row Trizdog says, I'm in Danville, PA. What's your channel about? The battle or? It's about the battle primarily, but also kind of just living in Gettysburg, stuff like that. There's 1,000 videos on our channel. I would encourage you to go look through them. Go through our playlists. It might be easier for you to kind of get an idea of everything if you look at our playlist. And thank you for watching from Danville. Brandon says, I want to be in the AG band. I have samples of my work on bass. Send them to me because actually I went and did Pat McGuire's show the other day, and me and his producer Parker have been talking about, well, I have this idea. I'll tell you what it is. There's a bunch of us podcasters and some historians I know who are musicians, and they're pretty good actually. And I've always liked this idea of us getting together and just doing videos of us doing cover songs, but like doing well. There's a channel I follow. It's a bunch of comedians that do this, and shit, I always get the name wrong. It's something like Middle-Aged Dad Garage Band or something like that. One of the guys from The State is in it, and a couple of other people you'll recognize. Anyway, they're very good. They do really good covers. And I just kind of like, oh, that would be so cool to do with historians. So me and Parker, Pat McGuire's producer at the History Things podcast, he's a very good musician. And we were talking about kind of starting something up like that. So that's something we're going to try to do. Swifty says, a view from the towers, if you could get that, that'd be fantastic. I know they probably closed it. Yeah, you can't get to the towers today. Why is it a war? I'm not sure what you're asking there. CCN Death Row says, so even after 1864, in 2025, there's still a civil war so to say, in Gettysburg. It was 1863 when this battle occurred, and ever since then, there's been a civil war in Gettysburg over how to preserve the land, how to teach the history, just everything. But yeah, it's very interesting. You should look into it. CCN also says, I got a picture of a full-body cavalry soldier from a Civil War cemetery. That's cool. We're at Sheets. Yes, we are. David says, why the Navy will come in there and majority insistent. Right. Swifty says Sheets, yes. Donald says, yes, bring back, that's what she said. All right, we will. I still have some that I haven't released yet, so I'll put one of those out this month. Sheets in Barbersville is where I sometimes shop going home. Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know where Barbersville is, but Sheets are everywhere. Everywhere. Mike O'Brien says, does anyone still find things on the battlefield? Yes, sir. Not too long ago, when they were doing some work on Little Round Top, they unearthed an unexploded Confederate Dyer shell, which they then exploded. Hanan Khan says, don't worry, when I take you, we'll be on the side of the good guys, pun intended. Trust me, the food's to die for, no pun intended. You're funny, Hanan. Swifty says, I'm telling you, I would go into one building on the strip. I would get lightheaded every time I go in there. I just assumed it was something ghostly. No, it's probably mold. Hanan says, hey, AG, could I send you some ethnic Pashto music, just instrumental? Could just be music or instrumentals, your choice. To you, it's really mellow and smooth. I would love that. Send it to Matt at addressinggettysburg, please. .com. So Matt at addressinggettysburg.com. MATT. Mark says, my brother lives in Westminster and is a music teacher and would love to help you all with your cover band. Please put us in touch, Mark. Swifty says, I know they were doing work on Big Round Top. Is that complete? Not big, little. Yes, it was completed last June. We also have video of that on our YouTube channel. You can go back and find that. It's, I want to say it was June 24th, something like that. So go check that out. And that's it, Beauregard. I Love Matt fan club. I assume you're talking about Atkinson too. All right, guys, I'm going to go inside, get that lottery ticket. Wish me luck so we can do a daily AG today. And otherwise, enjoy the snow if you've got it. If you don't have it, enjoy the heat or the whatever you've got. But have a good Monday. Have a good week. See you on Thursday if I don't do one of these beforehand. Ta-ta for now.